I was involved in the Lockerbie, reporting the Lockerbie story, which happened about 3 days before Christmas. And I remember it 4 days before Christmas. It was about, I think, December the 21st, I think. I remember it very well because it was kind of one of those odd days towards it. It's kind of getting towards Christmas and people are winding down. People are kind of thinking, well, we've got a couple more days. There are always busy times in newspaper offices because what newspapers don't share with the rest of the country is an ability to just take time off. And you have to keep things going. You have to keep the news doesn't stop. You have to be there. You have to be staffing it. So there's always a sense that you have to be there. And I worked over many Christmases myself. But there is a kind of, as you get right up to the end of Christmas, a few people will be thinking about putting their feet up for a couple of days. And I'd written the splash for the paper that day about an IRA bomb factory that had been discovered. It was a bomb factory. Someone had been shot by an IRA man in South London. I think there'd been an exchange of private police officers, and the police had found an IRA flat that had got bomb-making equipment in it. And that was quite a big story at the time because the IRA were in the middle of a big campaign, and I'd written that splash for the paper. And by early afternoon, and I was thinking, well, that's it. That's sort of me done for the day. And I think the first alerts about Lockerbie came across the PA wire relatively late on in the afternoon, and probably about 3 or 4 o'clock, something like that. And this will be well documented somewhere. And we started seeing these PA flashes that said, ball of fire over Scotland, debris falling on village called Lockerbie. It was all, as with any big incident, there's always a kind of, what's going on kind of thing. And as it happened, and I won't mention any names here, this was the day of the Christmas lunch of our news desk. And people had had a long liquid lunch, and quite a few people were still out having their lunch or had only just returned. But so the news desk was not exactly in what you would call fully functioning mode. And I had not been at lunch, because I'd been working, but I was one of the few reporters around. And I then helped with the Lockerbie coverage that night, and I sat and wrote and rewrote the splash for the paper about 5 times that night, with all this amazing stuff coming over the wires of these bodies being found in fields and this explosion and terrorist investigation and so forth. And it was just this extraordinary story. And I remember just literally chained to my desk for 5 hours, writing the story with it any more than 5 hours, right until about 2 o'clock the following morning, writing the story throughout the editions, because we were having to work to very tight deadlines. And with something like that, one of the things about a big story is actually managing the information overload.